right, so I want to talk a little bit more about correlations and linear regression. Linear regression, sorry, not aggression. So we were talking previously earlier in this trimester about how to analyze correlation. So we looked at scatter plots and we plot them on the graphs and we were looking at the relationship between two sets of data, okay? And then once we plotted all the points on the graph, we then looked at the pictures below and we said, okay, can we connect any of the picture that we're seeing to one of these pictures so we can identify the correlation to see if it forms some kind of line, okay? Now, I want to talk about linear regression because this is basically, it comes in once we figure out if there's correlation. Like if we say that there's some kind of correlation, we can actually create an equation for a line that you can draw right through the middle of these dots that represents this relationship. And then we can use that line to predict the relationship between the two sets and see if one of those data sets is a dependent variable. And if it works, we can actually predict other values. Like if there isn't a value at, let's say, 20 in this picture, we could figure out if x is 20, what would be the y? And it would probably be around like 15 and a half or something like that, you know? So it's kind of cool. Now, when drawing a linear regression line, okay, because that's all you're going to have to do. You don't have to find the equation of the line yet. Like that's something that you would do like in a more advanced class. But for our purposes, when you draw a linear regression line, you're just going to look at your scatter plot and figure out which direction the scatter plot line would go in. Okay, would it go top left to bottom right or bottom left to top right? So this way diagonal or in the other direction. Okay, and then all you have to do is take a ruler and line it up on the dots and try to draw a straight line so that it goes through as many dots as possible. The more dots you can get to touch the line, the more accurate the line is. And that's it. Like if you're looking at this one, it hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like kind of 6, 7 here. There's like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 points that it kind of hits as it goes down this line. So that's like the best line that they could come up with, okay? So honestly, that's all you would have to do if I asked you to draw a linear regression line, is plot all your points in a scatter plot, and then just try and draw a line that hits as many points as possible. It has to be straight, not curved. So then the last thing that you would need to do is calculate the correlation coefficient. So this correlation coefficient is a number that shows us how close the correlation is. It's like the pictures and the dots that we were saying with like the weak positive and the strong positive thing. It's just this is like an actual number that like is a little bit more definitive. So there's actually a calculator that will do the math for you. So that's what I'm going to have y'all do, is just use this calculator. So you click the link that I've given you here, and it's on your copy of the PowerPoint as well. And when you go here, all you have to do is type your X values into this box and your Y values into this box. I highly recommend separating them by a comma. That will work, okay? Like that. Okay, let's say those are our 3 dots. So 3 corresponds to 3, 4 with 4, 5 with 5. And then all you have to do is click calculate your R. And this one, there's just not enough options, but like if you put in a full data set, it'll calculate actual stuff. Let me just do, I'm just gonna do more. Let's see, hopefully this is enough. Okay, so here I did that, and when it finished, it says the value of R is 1. So it tells us your correlation coefficient, and all you have to do is write that correlation coefficient down. It's pretty simple, okay? And then once you use that, like in this case, my correlation coefficient is 1, so I look for the number right here, and that corresponds to a perfect positive correlation. So you would just look for your number or the number closest, the picture closest to your number, and voila, you know exactly what that number represents. Okay, that's pretty fairly straightforward. So I'm gonna have y'all, you're gonna, like take a look at a couple other exercises. Don't forget this stuff. You are gonna need it on the project, so it is there if you need it. Okay. And feel free to reach out during office hours or live sessions, or reach out to make an appointment if you need any help with any of this. Okay? Thanks, guys.